Childhood sports should be considered a safe and healthy environment. Various studies on young athletes that have been sexually abused show consistent circumstances that can be signs of abuse. Parents can play a role in preventing sexual abuse in sports by choosing a sports facility that has preventative measures in place to deter abuse. We will now discuss in further details the signs, preventative measures, and situations to avoid to help coaches and trainers not be in the situation. I got this information from globalsportsdevelopment.org. Coaches have a great deal of power over their young athletes, which puts children at a higher risk for sexual abuse. Young athletes are alone with their coaches and trainers for long periods of time, even overnight tournaments. As coaches train athletes, they are usually in close proximity and can involve the coach touching the child to show proper techniques. According to Brackenridge, lack of supervision of team overnight trips, abuse is twice as likely to happen to a young athlete. I got this information from bullshadow.net athletes.com. Okay, we will now discuss coach behavior and signs to look for so that you will not be in this situation. In 2004, Dr. Charles Shakeshaft at Virginia Commonwealth University did a nationwide survey of grades 8 through 11th and found that nearly 7% of students reported having physical sexual contact from a teacher or coach. Avoid touching any athlete to ensure that no question can be asked about inappropriate touching. Coaches should determine on other assistant coaches or diagram to show different sports techniques. Touching an athlete can be questionable in some cases. A coach should avoid any kind of sexual verbiage, such as sexist jokes or stories that contain inappropriate language. A young athlete will most likely not understand the content or be inquisitive about what is being told to them. Any good coach with nothing to hide should consent or provide a current background check on themselves. Also, to avoid any questionable behavior, a coach or trainer should never invite an athlete over for an overnight stay at their house and should try to have some type of supervision. Alcohol or drugs should never be introduced or talked about in front of an athlete. Another way to ensure false allegations do not surface is to install video or surveillance while you are coaching. Spend more time with children than your peers can look suspicious as a coach. Being friendly with your athlete can be a red flag. Letting athletes in your care do things that their parents don't allow can signify a problem with relationship. Singling out one player and making them special or giving special treatment will raise suspicions also. Parents should be aware of signs that a child athlete might give them if they are being sexually abused. I got this information above from momsteam.com. Some young athletes that are being abused might show a sudden withdrawal from the sport that they have loved. Removing themselves from the sport entirely will, in their mind, remove them from the situation, and they might not want to ever play again. A sudden fear of the dark and reoccurring nightmares are another sign of suspicious abuse. A young athlete that might have been abused might shy away from the abuser and not be able to make eye contact. All coaches need to protect themselves and be aware that friendly, innocent gestures can be misconstrued and interpreted in a negative way. Make sure if you are employed as a coach, you investigate the employer, and a good coaching staff will require a background check of all coaches, trainers, and even team managers. Coaches need to remember that most of their athletes look up to them and want their approval. Athletes are eager to please any coach and authority and will sometimes want that special attention. A good coach will treat all athletes the same, avoid one-on-one time alone, and always use good judgment with their athletes. You can avoid being in a situation that can cause false accusations if you are thoughtful and diligent when interacting with young athletes. With travel sports being so popular now, the circumstances to be in a position to be accused are much greater. Like I said before, there are situations that will arise that encourage more time with athletes is to be alone, and you must be mindful of your position. I got this above information from parenting.com. That is it.